Welcome to the Depth Perception Podcast.
We go in depth about the perception and misconceptions of optometry,
which include the business of optometry,
social issues within optometry,
and life as an optometry student.
Coming straight from Dr. Jasdeep Singh Soni,
Dr. Nadia Afghami,
Dr. Douglas Akiti,
and Dr. Svetlana Nunez. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Here. What's up, guys? What's up, everyone? It's been a long time, and I'm so happy to see y'all. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
April showers. It's not too hot, not too cold. No complaints.
But hey, we're here today because I miss my friends. I miss you guys. You guys are my friends. And so we thought, why not talk about friendships? Friendships before optometry school, friendships during optometry school, and friends now. Obviously, we all became friends, and that was during school. But Nadia, talk us through like your relationships between like friends you had before school and friends you had that you made during school. Were there some differences, and like was it hard or easy to make friends? Let us know.
I think I'm going to talk about friends in grad school before optometry school.
Okay.
Or like undergrad, right? Like that's kind of the time before optometry school. I don't think I have some high school friends, but we're not that close anymore, I guess. But the friendships that I made in like undergrad and my master's program, I think like, again, it's very similar to, I feel like when you're in undergrad, everyone's your friend. Like it's so easy to make friends in undergrad. Like you just are like, what's your major? Do you want to hang out later? I just feel like it was so much easier to like start the conversations because everyone's like open to being like, yeah, let's see what this girl's about, or let's start talking more. Like, I don't know. It's just different. When you're in a school like grad school, like it's so like you can't mess up this exam. Like you have to be studying all the time, right? So kind of similarly to optometry school, it's like more based on like survival, like who you're going to study with and be with. But I made my best friends, I have like tiers of friends, but my top tier of friendships, one of my best friends that was in my wedding was from, actually two of them were from undergrad, and then one of them was from grad school. And originally I wanted to be a dentist. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but talked about it before. And so my friend Roxy, who I met in grad school, was like, well, I think I'm going to do eyes. And I was like, okay, me too. And so that's why I became an optometrist, right? So they kind of like, she like kind of influenced my future. What about you, JD? Do you remember that far back?
A little bit. It was literally a decade ago. But what I do remember is, yeah, when you go from undergrad, you still talk to those people right after undergrad. But then, when you go to this different type of program, like a graduate program, optometry program, and then you graduate, like you're always fresh with talking to people you just got out, right? So then some of those other friends that were from undergrad after optometry school, they kind of go under the, like you're not talking as much as them and as much because it was such a long time ago, right? At the same time, too, those friends cannot like provide you career advice. There is a huge, for me, dichotomy between like the friends after undergrad versus optometry school and who still we talk to.
Do you still talk to any friends from undergrad?
A couple, and not often. Whereas optometry school friends, right? Like I'm texting plenty of people or friends or you guys or colleagues, right? Because it literally affects us every day.
Did you feel like it was easier to make friends in undergrad?
I think it's easier to make friends, but those relationships maybe not as deep when you're in optometry school. I'm sure y'all can relate, and I want y'all to jump in here. But like we have like 50 to 100 people in our programs, so you get very deep, in those friendships there.
Very just deep.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right. What about you?
I had I still have my little undergrad group friends. I still have childhood, high school friends. I kind of group them together because it feels like it's such a long time ago. So childhood, high school is together, and then undergrad is together. Being in optometry school, I think that the friendships are always still there. Of course, once you're in school, you talk more to your optometry friends because they relate with you a little bit more. They understand the pressures. And then when you're talking to your other friends, it's a little different. But I do think that you have to keep all your circles of friends and keep all your friends close to you while you're in school. Was that the question?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Did you also feel like it was easier to make friends in undergrad than it was in optometry school?
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, in undergrad, it's like, I remember some of my friends from undergrad are from the psychology classes I took from my minor, and I'm still really good friends with those girls, and we talk today. But my minor was like biochemistry, so it was like you were able to make friends in all different majors. And then I think in undergrad too, like you have, well, I mean, at least I felt like I would go to like more sport games, more, college like events. I can't even remember what these events were, but like whatever events was there, like backyard things, like you would just do a lot more and you would meet a lot more people and there's like bigger groups. It was just easier.
Yeah, the entire student population versus the 50 kids in your class.
Exactly. Exactly.
What about you? Should we say when we graduated up to
Which decade?
yeah, like where were you? Like what was happening in the world when you graduated from undergrad, you know?
I mean, I'll go first and then we can do that. But I'll say, I feel like my experience is similar to Svet. And I think all of us, right? I think that as you go along in life, you have friends, little groups of friends that you keep in each pocket. So you have your friends from high school, friends from middle school. I don't have friends from middle school like that. I have people that I used to play basketball against or with, but most of them went to high school. But then, so I have like high school friends and then college friends, like undergrad friends, and then optometry as well. I feel like friends kind of, you stay more so friends with the people that you're in closer proximity to and with. But that doesn't mean that just because you're not in proximity, like the real friends are the people that you can still be friends with, even if you're not that close or even if you don't talk every day. And so going to your question, Nadia, of like, was it easier to make friends in optometry school versus undergrad or vice versa? I feel like in first year, in both situations, I was able to make a lot of friends and a lot of connections. But then those connections and friends aren't necessarily your like main core that you develop and come to find out as the years progress. So I think like in year 2 and year 3, I found out who my closer, like real friends were and the people that I stuck with throughout and still are like really close with today. These are the friends that I consider, oh, that's my best friend from college or that's my best friend from optometry school. And it's usually like 2 or 3 people from each of those that I still keep as my closest best friends. But I still have other friends from like these places as well too.
Yeah, I think it's really important when you're in optometry school not to leave your other friends behind because I think when you're in school, you focus so much. And then talking about what Nadia brought up, like when we graduated, I just graduated, so I remember this.
Undergrad, like how long has it been since you were in like undergrad, you know?
Oh,
Do you
whoa,
feel
whoa.
like you just graduated undergrad?
No, 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 no. I graduated undergrad in 2021.
Yeah, great. That's what JD was like graduating.
From school.
Wow. Yeah.
Graduated in 2011. Grad.
I read this
2015.
2012,
Oh, 2011. Oh,
15, a minute ago.
yeah.
So
Yeah. So I think just keeping those friendships though while you're in school is so important because we've talked about this in general where when you're in school you're like wrapped up just about school. It's like about exams, tests, boards, clinic. And like you need balance in your life where you talk to people that are in real life while you're in optometry life. So don't
Yeah.
neglect your friends.
But as you're growing, do you feel like sometimes you like need to cut off friendships in like undergrad? Because there was like a couple friends in grad school where I was like, I don't think we're on the same page right now. Like they were just, getting into school is so stressful. That time when you're like applying too, right? Like you're like so unsure about your life. And I think for me too, like there was a couple friendships that like we were really close and they were like either flaking or like we planned to do something and they wouldn't be there. And it was like, hey, like there's so much uncertainty in my life. Like my friendships shouldn't be one of them. You know, like we need to, there was like a part of me that like had to draw a line sometimes with like friends and like it ended up like hurting the friendship, right? Like even though we were so close, I think that time like in between like the transition to optometry school. I was like, man, it's just gonna get harder from here, and you're already not making the time to like show up, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh,
Go ahead, Sweat.
no, I was gonna before I give like a girl response, how do the boys feel about that? Like, do boys go through that too?
I would say that I think there are levels of growth that you go through in life and different seasons, different people are for different seasons, I think. So as you try to keep progressing, maybe the other person doesn't want to keep progressing, or you just like grow apart in two different mindsets or mentalities, or maybe like you guys used to be friends and you were close because you used to party a lot, but then it's like I'm not trying to do that anymore, or things like that. So I think there are certain ways and things that happen as you grow up, like your maturity should grow up, but that doesn't necessarily happen to both parties, or just like ideologies, things in life that like maybe your morals align differently than their morals, but you guys like had this thing that you used to do together that was fun, but that doesn't really relate to like real life. So I think that relationships do change, and that's definitely happened to me where I've had to like separate from people who I thought were my best friends before, until like things hit a certain line to where it's like if you cross that line, then we can no longer be friends. You get what I'm saying? JD, what about you?
Yeah, like we're constantly changing and growing, and what's important to us is changing. So naturally, the people around you are going to change because you're changing. But I think that's where like change.
Wow. When you're changing and things are changing, and then the things change.
How many times
I'm
has it changed?
following. I'm
It's
following.
like, yeah, I
Wow.
mean, I think that's where like that's why like optometry school classmates stick around, because like you literally, you're involved in clinic or projects or whatever in this field still. So then it's like very easy to like talk to them or get advice from them. Like one of my best friends from optometry school will talk to me when he's asking for a raise or what to do for buying the practice. Those are conversations we're texting about like every day, or that patient that randomly cried or that tech that left, right? These things are constantly happening. So then you have to relate to somebody. Who are you going to relate to? The people you actually like went through that with, right? Maybe you don't relate to those undergrad friend schools enough because you don't have as much commonality anymore. That's the huge difference.
Right. And I think also to add to that, there's the grind that we had to go through to even get into optometry school. Meanwhile, some of our other friends, like they've been working and they just work. They have the 9 to 5 or this and that. And then like our grind is just different. So sometimes they don't understand like what we've been through. All they know is like you've been a student your whole life. But it's like there's been levels to this and like things that we had to do that is way different from their pathway of just go to school, internship, and then get a job.
I think that's a really great point, Doug, that you brought up, and I relate because I think of two really close friends of mine, and one of them was finished undergrad. We all did biochem, so she finished undergrad, started working in a lab. Now she does like medical sales, but she started working in a lab, then moved up to sales and is not in the lab anymore. And I remember she told me, "Oh, when you finish school, it's going to be great because you're just going to go to work and leave work at work. Like you don't come home and do homework or think about things or have to study." And I was like, "Oh, that seems so foreign because I'm in school right now and like we're studying and you bring everything home." And then I had another friend who is currently in medical school right now, and we related, and I relate to her a lot because she like goes MIA for like weeks, and I'm like, oh, I remember that. Like I remember going MIA, or when like Nadia, when you were talking about applying, like when she was applying to different medical schools, it was like I have interview advice. I know I interviewed for optometry school, but like these are some things that might help you in your interviews. So I think of those two different friendships because it's exactly what you're talking about. But I think in those two friends, they were very growth minded. So now we're bringing in JD, like they're very growth minded and they they wanted change, like both of those friends really wanted to grow and kind of level themselves up either in in both of their careers. And they were friends that it was just because we were so maybe career driven, it was easy to keep the friendship on after undergrad.
Yeah. I mean, even switching to like optometry school now, right? Like the friends I had first year were not the friends that I left with, right? And it's really funny because even Liebman and I are so close, but we were so stressed out in optometry school. We would like not talk for like months. Sometimes we just like get in a fight and then we would just not be talking. And I was like, want to be friends with her anymore. And then both of our boyfriends would be like, you guys are not going to stop talking over the fact that there was no parking spots at Starbucks. Like, I don't know what this fight's even about, right? Like, it was just so like, we were just so stressed out that like, and now look at us, like we talk every day, like we're still very close. Like, even though we don't live in the same place, like, I text her every day. So it's just interesting how like even the friendships that you have like starting out first year change so much because you're still changing under the pressure of like all the stuff that's going on. That like the friendship changes, the people that you rely on change. And it's just like such a metaphor for life in general, right? Like as we change, our friendships are changing.
I actually have a really good question now that we're moving on to optometry school because I have a lot of students that will reach out to me, and this literally happened last month. Well, it happens all the time. Like I have students that reach out to me and they're like, how did you make friends in school? Like how did you like connect with people? So I kind of want to ask you guys this, and then Nadia, especially like if people don't know, you moved from Florida to California to go to school. So I think you can really speak to those students. And then Doug, I mean, you went from to a whole different. I mean, technically you're still in the US, but you moved like
It's a whole
yeah.
different story. But Nadia,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, and then even JD too. You're from Chino Hills and you went to Arizona, so
Wow, so foreign.
yeah, very foreign. It's hot. Like
I didn't bring my passport.
yeah. So how did you guys handle those moves and then make friends and then make your real friends?
I didn't know a single person when I moved to California. But in my head, I was like, well, I'm going to move there and there's going to be like a class full of students. So I'm just going to meet people, I guess. And also, I'm an only child. So like, I have to make friends. Otherwise, I'm a very lonely person. So like, at a very young age, like we moved a lot. Um, I changed high schools in the middle of high school. Like, it was really hard at the time, but it taught me like so much about like who I am as a person and like how to develop relationships and like just put yourself out there and just like it's like you have to make friends or you're going to be lonely, right? So for me it was like, okay, well, I'm going to move to California and I don't know, I'll meet some people or I'll be by myself. Like I'll figure it out, you know? So it all kind of worked out. JD,
How
what
did
about you? You're
friend?
being awfully quiet over there with your sinister mustache and your Bowflex in the background. Like I
These are just foreign times for me, right? Talking about a decade ago. So, I want to make sure I listen to the individuals
That's
who
not
have
true.
memory and inspirations from it.
JD, you keep saying that, but like tell us about like you still have friends from optometry school that you're friends with. It's not been that long ago.
Yeah, no. Those are core friendships that always remain because, like we said, getting career or life advice and people who can relate to you on the day to day, so that they're still there.
Yeah,
The
but
question is, guys, how did you acquire these friends and be able to call them your friends?
yeah, how
School friends, I think, yeah, in your school program, you kind of see who you align with, and then
align on what? Like what are we aligning on?
mm, I think there's a personal side to it. So like people who like similar sports or shows, but then people who think like you. So people who are more entrepreneurial, or so people that kind of stuck around for me. How about you guys?
How about okay, I'll stop. Did I not
Not it.
answer the question? I'll
You didn't
re-answer the
answer, so
question.
yeah, you can go back.
Who didn't
It's
answer?
hard to breathe. My diaphragm is being squished by a baby right now. She's kicking me, so I'm like out of breath. I think that like I was like very very close to a lot of friends and first year, like too much. Like I was trying to be friends with everyone. Like I was in SGA. I was like, oh, the more the merrier. And then after a while you learn like, okay, that's not sustainable. Like that's taking a lot of my energy out, right? So Liebna and Eris and I got really close because we had like the same kind of like study schedule. We kind of like sit by ourselves. We didn't really need to talk a lot. Like I don't do well like in groups, I guess. So it's like it's nice when you sit together and you just study solo. And like people weren't like that. So like study styles really helped. I think our faith in God also like really pushed us through because we'd always like say prayers before exams or like we'd get together and like support each other. We try to go to like Hillsong Church together and like just like have that Sunday where we like just take a break and like grow in our faith. So I think like people who motivate you and want you to be better are the people that like you gravitate towards. So you can't know that until you kind of like talk to everyone and you figure out like who kind of aligns with your personality in your life. Did that answer the question?
You did.
Is that better?
You did.
Okay.
Way better. Yes, that was great. Okay, I'll say for me, going from, if you guys don't know, whoever's watching this, I went to school in Puerto Rico. I'm from California, but I went to the school in Puerto Rico. And so that was like a big change, but I was excited to go because it was like, I literally, like Nadia said, I don't know anyone in Puerto Rico, but I'm going to meet new people and it's going to be fun. So I came in with that mentality, like not worried about making friends, just knowing that it would just happen naturally. And I think like when you first get there, everyone's like a little nervous. Everyone's like, what do we do? So it sounds crazy. New York is
Sounds
New
like
York.
New York City. Welcome to New York.
But
Please, Doug had
I think initially it's like, oh, and also like the students who are there already, the third years and second years, they know that everyone's coming in kind of nervous. And so they try to make you feel comfortable by like hosting you and having everyone go out and like enjoy. So like that was one of the first things. Like we all had like, there was a rooftop like get together where everyone got to just like meet everyone the first night. And then I think that night after that we all went out, and so it kind of was like at first when things were pretty easy and there wasn't like a lot of schoolwork, it was like every weekend like everyone would try to go out and like make friends and just like build that camaraderie. So like my first year class, like most everyone would go out and everyone got super cool with each other, but kind of like you were saying, Nadia, that's not super sustainable for like the whole time. So as second semester came, which also COVID was a part of that, people started to like branch off into their smaller friend groups and kind of hang out with people that were like-minded, like people who like to play basketball, people who like to play video games, people who don't really go out as much, people who go to church. These are different things. And so I feel like that happens naturally in any case. Like you just kind of gravitate towards the people who you vibe with and who align with the things that you're interested in.
I actually have a unique optometry school experience because I had two different classes, and it's crazy because each class had their own personality. And I don't know if it's because like it was like later that I joined the second class, but like felt to me like everyone was little less into everyone's business in that class. Cause like they had like friend groups versus like my first class, everyone was trying to be friends with each other a lot. And so there was a lot of like drama. Versus like the second, it was like they had their like clique drama, but it didn't affect me because I wasn't in one, you know? So it's just interesting that like different classes also have different personalities, you know, like the third years had a different personality than like the second years and vice versa.
That's such a thing. That's such a thing. I've definitely, that's the same experience. Like my class was the class that everyone wanted to hang out. And the second years above us, they were the quiet ones. You never see them. They like, it'd be a rare spotting if you see that guy walking to his dorm or something. And then the third years, they were like our class. Like they all kind of, a lot of them would hang out and go out and do things. So each class definitely has its own personality. And it's interesting to see that, especially as you get older and then see the incoming classes, and then you're like, oh, what are they like?
Yeah. Let's move on to something JD wants to talk about. Friendships outside of optometry school.
he remembers what I remember, you know? Yeah.
Wow,
JD, I
Jamie,
know you're
you
so
gotta stop
old.
with
It's
that.
like, this is
I can
not.
talk about my undergrad experience right now, and that was 14 years ago I graduated.
I
I
was
could
like,
talk
I
about
didn't.
literally undergrad and how I first made my friends there. Like you can't do that, man. Come on,
JD, we
man.
should
Yeah.
get you some like B12 or something. Like, I don't know what's going on with your Alzheimer's.
Friendship. When we talk about friendships, the goal of this podcast is about friendships. You know, we're all inspired or feel affected or influenced like in a different way. Like for me, those optometry school early friendships or early meetings, like I think being 10 years out now,
Is
10,
it
10,
10
10 years.
years?
years? JD, it's
You're
been
10 years
6
out of
years.
optometry school?
I started optometry
I don't, where did this 10 years come from? Like,
10 years since I started. You know, I'm
it's
not
been
the
6
first
years.
time.
You graduated in
When you hit
2020.
6, it's 10. To be
10 years
fair,
since I
when
started on top.
6 is 10. 7 is 10.
I had a patient today, right? They're like, "How long have you been doing this?" I was like, I'm in the field for 10 years. I started 10 years ago when I started optometry school. I've been in the
Yeah,
field.
I'm about
It
to
was 4
start
years of
telling
school.
people I've been in the field for 20 years.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
started in 2011. When was that?
How long have I been doing this? Talking to people? Birth.
Birth.
No, but like,
Friendships are just not like as crucial in the whole story of the big picture of optometry and friendships for me, right? Like yes, there's a couple of them that stuck around and those quality ones, but then like friendships like y'all, right, where you meet after school, like you constantly are
I
building.
mean, after school though, we met in school.
We got
Okay.
close after school. We may have met once.
Wait.
Tell us about your
We were all
closer
in school.
relationships now. How about that?
I would say the people who work with me with the recruiting, which includes SV and my best friend from optometry school, so he's still involved, and then my sister who's on our board, and then obviously the podcast people, and then people who are Alcon speakers, and people who are also networking who are still there before, like Daryl Glover and all them. So some of those friendships are still there, but they're not necessarily from school.
Let me ask though, because I mean, like, what about our social media friends? Like, do you feel like, I mean, we are all pretty active on there. So do you feel like that helps you make new friends and like supporters? And I know we mentioned that we're going to talk about mentors later, but just in general, your friends that you've met through the internet specifically, like, do you feel like that has made a big change in your life? And do you find those people to be close to you, or do you find them to be just superficial friendships?
Well, I mean, we all became friends through social media to an extent. Like we all kind of knew each other on Instagram a little bit.
I
Um,
know them.
Looking at
I
you,
didn't know.
Doug.
I didn't know her.
I've never seen Doug in my life, honestly. Like, this is
No, if you guys haven't heard the story, when we all first met in person, Nadia, she's like, she comes up to me and she's like,
comes up
I'm
to you is
Nadia.
crazy. I was trying to get a drink at the bar. You were next to me, so let's not go there.
We were next to each other.
You were just standing next to me, Doug. Tell the story right, okay?
We were standing next to each other. And then you say your name, like, hey, I'm Nadia. Like, and I'm like, okay, I'm Doug. Nice to meet you. And you're like, wait, you don't know me? You don't know me from social media? You know me from Instagram? And I was like,
I
no,
never said
like,
that. Doug's making this up. I was like, do you follow me? And he's like, no. And I'm like,
do you
we can't be
follow
speaking
me?
anymore. And that's it.
I was like, no, I don't follow you. You don't follow me? Are you serious? It's like,
Yeah, that's what I sounded
yeah,
like.
no.
Before all this, JD asked me to be on his podcast. Did you guys know that?
I don't know that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wow, we podcasted together.
You didn't remember that? JD doesn't remember that he asked me to be on his
Yeah, I had
podcast,
a podcast.
guys. It was
probably
literally
like
during
10 years
COVID.
ago.
I watched
like 10 years
one
ago.
episode with the NBA guy. That was cool. He was
Yeah,
Nigerian.
that's right. We interviewed someone from the NBA who's, I don't think he's playing anymore, but
Yeah,
the current
JD was like, do you want to pop on my pod? And I was like, yes. Now he forgot. Maybe we shouldn't ask him questions about the past anymore.
Okay, Fred, what
Boy,
about you?
never mind.
I think, like, to answer Nadia's question directly, um, there's a lot of friends that I've met through Instagram and mentors. What? That'll be a different day. I don't think some of the friendships are superficial in the sense, like, fine, superficial. Like, I comment, I like, maybe like a quick message off of someone's story. How are you doing? But maybe that's like superficial. But then I have other friendships where we're on Instagram or on social media and we have long conversations and we share deep things, and I've never met this person in person yet. And they're always like, "Oh, are you going to go to this conference? Are you going to go to that conference? Like, I would love to meet you." I'm like, "Oh my God, I would love to meet you too." We've shared a lot of things about school, about our feelings, da 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 da. And like, I haven't met you, but we're like social media friends. I've heard their voice through like audio recordings, but I've never seen them in person. And then you have your other friends where it's like, they're my social media friends, but then they're my friends in real life, like you guys. And we actually like text, talk. We meet up at least once, twice, 3 times a year.
We try.
And then there's like, yeah, we try. And then there's like other social media friends where it's like, you're my social media friend. We talk on Instagram, and then maybe we do like a phone call once every 3-6 months. I mean, there's so many levels to friendships. I don't know.
Yeah, fun fact. Do you guys remember when Taylor Swift wrote me on the internet and I was viral?
Answer what I do.
Okay, interesting. So that happened. So when I had my like Tumblr thing that blew up, I had people that would like write me all the time. And so I became friends with these people. There was 3 of them when we had a group chat. And then actually 2 of them lived in Southern California. And we would hang out like all the time because like I didn't really know anyone else. And then one of them was from Canada. And during optometry school, he came to stay with me and we went to the Taylor Swift concert.
Ooh, Taylor Swift too many times. That's what happens, Nadia. Dang it.
I was too famous. I'm too famous for this. But the audio was going, right?
No.
Okay. Well, one of them lived in Canada and they came to stay with me when I went to the Taylor Swift concert. So it's interesting that like, you know, stranger danger, but like I trusted them because we were internet friends and then we became real life friends, you know? So friendships happen like that too.
Pretty cool story.
Thank you. Also, Taylor Swift wrote me on the internet.
That might be Taylor Swift right now.
That's her right now. Okay, great. JD, why don't you wrap us up?
Let's wrap this up. Friendships are important, whether they're from school or after school or during school or before school. And keep them going.
Good wrap.
Keep them going. Yeah. And with that being said, we'll catch y'all on the next pod. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment if you make any friends. If you're friends with any of us, let us know how you made friendships with us.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Depth Perception Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all of our platforms, including
Spotify,
Instagram,
Google Podcasts,
Apple Podcast.
YouTube. Make sure you click that button. Double tap that.
So you guys have no reason not to follow us and tune in to the next episode.
Stop wasting time.
Get in depth.
Subscribe.